and we're going to have a little intro. Yes. Oh my goodness. Did you like that or what?
No, I loved that.
That just gets us going in the funky mood. I love it every single time. Oh my gosh. I'm here with one of my favorite people of all time, literally Gina Pero. Like, wow, what this woman means to me. I'm so happy to have this opportunity to just like announce you to the world, because you are so many things. And, you know, I was looking at your bio and I'm like, all right, am I really going to read this whole thing? It is epic. She's done so much and incredible. And I think what I decided was, you know, for the sake of this beautiful conversation and this intention to help the audience, to help our listeners connect with the wisdom from within. Honestly, there's no one better than talking to you about this. You are an expert in this world and someone who's been through so much and has connected so deeply to her wisdom. It is just incredible. So we're going to enter this conversation. But when I was looking at your bio, I was looking and I read the first, I mean, I've read all of it many times, but I was reading the first line and I thought, you know what? I'm going to just share this piece. Gina Pero is an amazing, she's, first of all, phenomenal. I saw Amazon and I said amazing. Gina Pero is an Amazon best-selling author, ICF Master Certified Coach, and internationally sought after speaker who empowers high achieving performers, athletes, and leaders to access their inner knowing so they can perform with calm, clarity, and confidence. And that is truly what this is all about, that inner knowing. And you are a master of that. So we're going to enter this conversation with, you know, first you can talk about your, you know, that statement, what that means to you, that inner knowing, what that means to you, and how that has really guided you in your life and in your practice and in your writing. Take it away. Love it.
Thank you for having me with you today. Thank you for being a witness to the gifts of so many people. And I really value this time with you to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is the inner knowing. The gift that we are all innately born with, to know thyself, to know and sense our surroundings, the gift of that inner sense and space that guides us every day when we are listening and we are clear of distractions within, you know, that bubble. The energy field must be clear in order for us to really listen to our connectedness, our truth that's guiding us continuously in all decisions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How did you come to know it?
Well, I grew up Catholic and we had a practice. Every day we would pray, every day, let's say meditate. And my grandmother was the person I would sit with during her lunch when I didn't have school. And she would just sit with her rosary and she would just close her eyes. And then she would walk around and pray for all of us by touching all of our pictures and saying a little prayer. And I would actually like gently just rub her arm for her to fall asleep when I would be with her during that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Truly a commitment to her practice. In the morning, she would share with me, she would wake up and the first thing she would do is walk around and pray for everyone and sit and hold her rosary. And I would witness her just sitting there with her eyes closed and being quiet. And she was highly intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
And she would say things that I'm like, how do you know that? Mm-hmm. So number one, I think by default, I was born into this family of mine where my grandmother was highly intuitive because of how she practiced and would listen. She was very faith oriented. Her spiritual path was strong, and she would just know things. So I had an example of somebody doing that for me to learn it, and really own it, I guess, because then I would know things, Jen. People would ask me for advice and I would say things and they would be like, how do you know that? Well, now we know that's called channeling, right? Now we have a word for it. But when I was 7, 8 years old, people were floored by my advice or the words that I would write in cards. And yes, we could call that a gift of writing. But for me, now I know that was just a gift of listening to something beyond my consciousness that I was able to use.
Do you have an experience in your life? Like, do you remember the first time or close-ish to the first time when you were like, oh, that's the knowing? Like, and then how did you come to and get comfortable with listening to it?
It took me a long time to get comfortable because I knew I had one girlfriend growing up where I'm like, I would like tell her secretly, like, I feel like this is something I'm supposed to do in my life, or I'm feeling this, or, and she was so lovely, still a best friend in my life. And so it was kind of a secret. And I didn't know how to use it when I was young. I thought it was, just, I didn't know how to decipher, what intuition was and what was following my mind and what was following something different. So as I got older, I started to become more aware of it and share it. And then I actually got picked on. So I shut it down, Jen. I shut down my intuitive gifts because I was being, not, I would say bullied, but maybe that's a word, but just, yeah. I mean, it was like, how do you know that? Who do you think you are? You're a know-it-all. I mean, these projections. And so I shut it down and I would still follow my guidance and I would not follow my guidance. And then it was 9 years ago, when I met my soul partner, David, and he said, I am here to help you remember how intuitive you are. That was his purpose entering my life.
Absolutely. I'm curious though, knowing your story, right? Knowing some of your story around an injury that you had that was pretty significant, and, really tuning in and tapping in and focusing in on the body and how that wisdom intuitively, like your intuition along with that body wisdom, which is part of it, right, allowed you to like move through. Like, were there moments, you could talk about the injury a little bit, explain that, but like, what about the wisdom from within you helped you move through such a painful and difficult time? Was there like a belief that you were having, that you were being led by, that you trusted?
I knew every obstacle was for me to turn into a purpose to teach others and help others. I knew that young. So when I was diagnosed with scoliosis at 12 years old, I knew right in the doctor's office, I'm like, I know, God, this is a gift and I will turn this into a purpose. Like, there was this innate knowingness that in my life, whatever is happening for me is for me to learn how to teach others, help others, guide others, facilitate others in their life. And that knowingness stayed with me when I got hit in the head as a rockette and, had a brain and spinal injury. I knew, I'm like, I know this is for a higher purpose. So
how did you know that?
I just knew. I just knew it so strongly in my bones, in my gut, in my mind. Like, there was never a poor me. It never entered my mind, like poor me or I'm a handicap or nothing. Like, I never took these obstacles and there was no mental like confusion. It was so clear. The clarity was so clear.
Yeah, I think it's important because the people that are listening, like, there's a lot of people that say, oh, how do you know? And then how do you know how to trust it? Where do you feel that in your body? And how do I recognize something like that? So giving, it's so intangible because it's an energy and it's a feeling, but really trying to help people connect to their own knowing when it does happen, like what that can look like, what that can feel like, right? That's why I was asking.
And it speaks to us. I mean, for me, when I hear in my body, in my mind, I hear the words, I know, that's your intuition. When it's speaking to you in the I know. If you're saying words that are, I think, I should, maybe I will, those are not your intuition. Your intuition is so strong. It speaks to us in that form of like, and we can all recall. I mean, when I forget, I mean, I practice warming up my intuition every day. And when I forget, or when I feel like, I'm just confused, I don't know, then I recall a time when I knew something that I didn't need a reason for.
Yeah.
When we have to justify something in our life, then we are not listening to the innate wisdom. The innate wisdom says, go left. And you go, I got it, I'm going left. Not why, because why interrupts the intuitive message when you're like, well, why? Later on, of course, we could name stories. I know exactly why I went left. Like later, right? Like we sort of find out later after we're following the intuition.
Absolutely. When you say you warm up your intuition, what do you mean?
Well, I have a whole process, in the morning, my meditation, my movement meditation, the clearing of energy statements. I make sure I'm centered and balanced. So throughout my day, when I am going through my day, I know that the intuitive wisdom that's coming through me is true for me. And it's not filtered by something I looked at social or something I read in a book, that Gina Pero is centered and balanced in her alignment. So my body can tell me to turn right or left. My body can tell me exactly when to go to the grocery store.
And that comes through, you hear a voice, or you're just being pulled into, I've got to go left or go to the grocery store or make this change in my life.
For me, I'm auditory first. Like, so I can hear things coming through this side of my ear. So I can hear things. I hear words or I hear things, but then like there's a visual component to it as well.
I love that. Yeah, go ahead. What were you just going to say?
That's it. That's my style of intuition, where everybody has a different style.
Right. It's so beautiful to talk to you because you really have studied this and allowed this to lead your life. No, you have for so long. And, you helped me remember.
Yeah.
You helped me remember. I've always been an intuitive person following my guidance to a degree. You helped me unlock even further by really going back in. I mean, you took me down that, inner child path, which really did awaken and allow that wisdom and that understanding of who I am, which can then is like kind of like the portal to then the trust, because getting to ourselves, right? And then we trust ourselves, regain that trust. And so I wonder on that, for someone who doesn't really understand intuition, we all have it, and the body wisdom, what would you suggest, someone does at the beginning of this exploration for themselves?
I like a recall. We have all had a moment in time where we knew something where we did not need a reason. And I always help people recall first. Like, hey, when was a time where you just knew, whether it was like out to dinner or like you just knew it was going to rain? I mean, it doesn't have to be these big life leaps. It can just be simple, like, I just knew I was supposed to wear red. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's a recall. That recall helps that person, or for those of you listening, it helps you remember that you do know, that you do have the innate wisdom. Once we recall, we build confidence around the recall. And so then we start trusting it. And then my first experience of practice was going, okay, God, universe, whatever you call it. I call it God. So, all right, God, today I'm going to play intuition, and I want to be guided. So when I hear my knowingness say, go to the grocery store, I'm going to go out the door and I'm going to do it. And I started practicing listening in my everyday life. And then when I was traveling and speaking on the circuit, 30 cities a year, my assistant and I would play the games. I'm like, well, what do you get? What row do you get? What row on the airplane are you getting that's light for us? And I'm like,
oh my God, I love that.
And so we would sit and like no one would be in the middle seat, and I said, okay, so what do you get? Like what presentation are you getting for the audience today? Let's tune in. We're going with that. I mean, I would change PowerPoints prior to presentations because I was tuning into the audience going, ooh, they really need this piece. And, I'm dedicated to listening. I'm willing to change things that are out of alignment to be in alignment for the highest and best for everybody included.
How do you do that when you're about to go somewhere and speak and you look at the audience and you're like, they need this? Do you gaze? Do you feel the energy? Like, what is that process for you? I'm curious.
Oh, I tune in usually the night before, the morning of. And usually it's the morning of. I get up really early if I have to speak, and I just say, what energy and space and consciousness must I be for the audience in front of me? Is there anything in my presentation that is out of alignment, or is there anything I need to add into the presentation that would be most beneficial and aligned for this audience I'm about to, present to? And then something comes in and something like, falls in, and I'm like, got it. And I just go in and I change it and I alter it. And then I will get comments like, oh, that one piece was, and I'll let them know. I'll say, well, this morning I added it in. Because I want people to understand that intuition is there, things change. Change is constant, as we know. So just because we have a plan of a PowerPoint doesn't mean it can't be changed.
Right.
And, we're dancers, so we know how to quick change.
Quick change.
So I quick change, as you know, you're well aware, even with client appointments and things. If I'm feeling something's off, I will come forward and say it.
Yeah. That takes a lot of courage.
It does. It does. It took me a lot of courage to build my life around this innate wisdom. However, it's miraculous what it has done for my life and David's life and our kids' lives, and how we taught them to listen so they're aware.
How do you teach them to listen?
Well, they learned from their father first, because he, I met the kids at 15. So, now it's just a reminder. Hey, what do you think I should do? Or, hey, what, and I say, how to tune in. Let's get centered. We have a meditation we do. There's clearing processes, and, every child is different in terms of what they need to find their center and balance. Malia needs nature. She needs to be out in the ground, like digging in dirt and getting her feet in the ground. And, and that builds her intuitive wisdom, because that's practice. Mine is not that. Yes, I go out in nature, but I don't need to dig in soil to get myself centered and grounded. So everybody's style of accessing, that body wisdom that you are sharing so beautifully with the world is important to know our style of it, and how we hear messages. Everybody has a different style. Some people feel that gut sensation, right? Others, like me, I hear things. So when I'm speaking, I channel, because I know how to tap into this feeling that's going to get into my brain for me to say, so I love it. I mean, I'm such a fan of intuition, and I've been practicing it for so long now that it's really become a part of my daily moments, from what I eat to what I wear to, do I wash my hair tonight? Like for this, our live, I was like, do I wash my hair last night? Yes, wash your hair. And I woke up this morning, don't wash your hair. Just, spray it. And I mean, I really use it now in the increments of every minute.
I love that so much. How do you differentiate the God or the spirit, right, that you've referenced, this sort of like energy, and then the energy in the body,
Yeah.
the wisdom in the body. And is it the same thing for you? Is it the
Yeah.
same? Yeah. So when you're talking to God, you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking to the consciousness, the energy in the space, because everything is energy. So I'm talking to that God, unconditional love, energy every single day, going, hey, guide me to my fullest and most authentic self energetically.
Mm-hmm.
And that is also the God within us, that unconditional loving space in us that's guiding us to love deeper. We're here to love, period.
Yeah.
Without any excuses at all. We're here to love, period. So that love energy I'm speaking to is the guidance to the soul. Our soul is here to be here for a higher purpose.
Yeah.
Each
Yeah.
of
It's
us-
interesting. I'm sorry. What was that last part you said?
Each one of us has that gift. That's what you're helping people really tap into, Jen. That's what you're doing with your book coming out. And, you're really helping people connect with our natural wisdom, the gift we get for free. I mean, hello.
It's really interesting that you say gift. And I don't know that I've shared this with you yet, but I created this acronym. Gift is ground, right?
Yeah.
Ground and body set.
Yeah.
Heart, belly, closing the eyes. Okay. Ground. Then what I've really learned in this practice a lot to tap into that inner wisdom is that a lot of people can't tap into the feeling to create the gesture. At first, a lot of people have a little bit of a disconnect. So the I in gift is imagine, using the mind to visualize the space that we're struggling in or that we want to be in, using that imagination to then feel and use the feel to transform, which is the gesture. So gift, I mentioned that because I wasn't planning on talking about the power of gesture here, but you were saying, I'm helping people tap into that body wisdom, and it is a gift. And I believe it's a gift, hence the gift acronym that I just explained to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone has a different style. I don't feel first.
Right.
Yeah. I don't feel first.
Yeah. Tell me.
I hear first.
Yeah. You hear first.
I hear first. That's like the channelers, right?
Yeah.
Like I can hear things, like I will hear go left and I'm like, oof. And then that hearing comes into the body and then I feel it.
Exactly.
But then I can see it. So I see it usually second before I feel it. For me personally.
Yes.
That's my style. So when I am off, say I'm out of alignment or I'm off my intuition. Now also sometimes our intuition wants to just take a break.
Yeah.
Where like our body just does not want to make decisions today.
Yeah.
And I think this is very important for everybody to hear because we want answers all the time. We're driven to want answers now. We're driven now by the one-click societal norm that says I can get everything by hitting a button so quickly. But with our intuition, yes, it can get fast and quick, but also it needs to rest and your body needs to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And there are days I wake up and I know that this is not the day to make decisions.
How do you know that?
Because I just know. It's just, again, it's that knowingness. It's not about the how. It's just about, I've been listening for so long. I'm there.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to get with someone. I can just imagine someone listening going, that's so cool. I want that. How do I get that? How do I get that?
The how is really going to be developing your unique style. There is no same how for everybody, but the how, generally speaking, is playing first, having fun with it, testing it out. Like if you're getting some sort of sense to like pack for your trip on a Monday and your trip is a Saturday, do it. Just do it. Don't judge it. Don't logically come in and be like, that doesn't make sense. I don't leave till Friday. Well, something's telling you to pack today.
Yeah.
And the more you begin to listen to these senses, this wisdom that you're calling it, then you're training yourself to continue to listen more and more and more and more. And then it becomes obviously, easier.
That's beautiful. I think that's very tangible.
Yes.
And it requires courage. It requires us to trust what we're hearing, take a chance. And we don't have to go big. Like if we just hear that one nudge, try it. Like you said, pack a day early. That's not going to hurt anybody. We're not saying go get a divorce or like go do your job if you feel that right. Like, no, that's a whole process and like a lot of time, but these little things, right, that will build up
to the
and
bigger,
will help us trust ourselves. Yeah.
to the bigger decisions like moving or
right.
I mean, when I was living in New York, I knew that my apartment was coming to a close. I knew something was going to move. So I started packing up my apartment. And I still had a lease, over a year lease. And I just said, Gina, you're getting it, follow it. And I just said, okay. So I start packing up my apartment. I mean, I'm just getting ready for something I'm feeling. No evidence that I am moving to New York, nothing.
Oh my God. So what'd you get? Like someone handed you a piece of paper and said, your time is up? Like,
no, I just knew. I just felt it. I'm like, ooh,
So then, did that come to reality?
It did. Yeah, 6 months exactly. I was on my way to Italy on a one-way ticket, and my cousins needed an apartment and took over my lease.
Oh my gosh. Damn, girl.
Yeah. I mean, the magic isn't like $1 million rolls in your bank account. Of course we want the big transformation, but transformation is just change. That's all it means. And so the change for me was I got to be in New York City for 6 months, fully there, seeing my friends, like creating success for me. And like, what do I want to experience here before I move? So when I moved, I had no regret. I had no like looking back, like I made a mistake. Like I got to, that wisdom gives us the gratification that we know something's changing. And so we can be fully invested because we know, but we don't see it. And there's not evidence, like physical evidence. So I think some people need evidence, then ask for it. I remember I was in a relationship and I knew it wasn't in alignment and I kept fighting my intuition. And finally I just said, look, God, I was driving. And I said, I need some physical evidence. Can you show me a yes or a no? Like, I need to know right now, and I will follow it. A car rides by, and the license plate says no. I was like, I got it. I got that physical evidence. Thank you so much for what I needed. And I immediately ended the relationship.
Wow.
But sometimes we need it. Sometimes people, even though I didn't need it, now I don't need physical evidence anymore. But when I started listening, I did. I was like, I don't know if this is my gut really telling me, is what I'm hearing true? How do I take action?
I'm so curious about, we have a couple of minutes left, but I'd love to just know, was there a time where you didn't listen and it led you down? Yeah. Can you share that and what that was?
Yeah. Right out of college, I moved to Las Vegas. There was a show here of, my dreams, and I was in a relationship and I knew to end it. I knew like this is done, and I didn't honor it. And I want to say it cost me a lot of suffering that did not need to take place for a few years after, until I was able to get out. But here's the thing. Here's what it really cost me. It cost me the courage, and it cost me the knowingness. It was harder to get out because I had already been in. So when we know and we're feeling our intuition, the timing is also very important for everybody included. So once I knew this isn't going to work. I needed to express that immediately because he was then going to move to Las Vegas.
Right.
So when we get this divine wisdom, there's a timing that's very essential for everybody included. And so then forget it. He moved and now we were in Vegas and, year after year. I mean, it costs us something when we don't listen. In the timing it comes in, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just taking action on it after 7 weeks of listening. It's taking action in the moment you're receiving it, because that is what intuition is about. It's the timing that you're getting the awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a responsibility.
It's a beautiful life-saving gift. We all can recall those moments where we are like, something's telling us not to leave the house yet. And then you leave and you see that there's an accident like 4 feet ahead of you at the light. I mean, I know we have all had these moments in life because the universe gives them to us so graciously to remind us that our wisdom is really the key.
Yeah.
And it solves a lot of the suffering. I really believe that.
Yeah.
We're not here to suffer.
We're here to remember.
We're here to remember. We're here to listen. We have the internal guidance. So let's spend more time practicing that.
Yeah. Here.
Let's practice more of knowing how to listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that.
That's the power.
Yeah, I love that. So I love what you were saying, to leave our listeners with this, concept, or what is the word I'm looking for? Just sort of like a tangible action step for them. I really like what you were saying before around just those little steps. Like if you hear or feel, to really just take that little, and then it will step and it will build that trust within. Yeah. You feel like that's what you want to leave the listeners with, something like that they can take action on today.
Yeah. Have fun with it. I turn it into a game. I used to play the elevator game, which one's gonna, which one, go with your gut, which one you sense is gonna open first, and play games, have fun. Mm-hmm. So it's not so serious at first. And then those games that you start with, the fun of it, like I have fun with intuition. I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling that was fun. And then something works out. You're like, oh my
gosh. Right. Exactly. Oh my God. I love that.
Fun. Ask, talk to the energy that's around us and within us. If you need a physical evidence, ask for it. Be like, hey, I need some physical evidence yet, like a clear neon sign that says yes or no. Could you flicker the lights in my house? I mean, I know sometimes that sounds woo-woo, but the truth is it's real. There's an energy that supports us every day to help us get what we require to really know this innate wisdom that we carry. Like you met me, something told you to hire me as a coach, right? Something told you to write a book, seriously, like when we look back at our journey, there's something that's been guiding us even to the nose. Like, no, it's not time yet, but we pushed through it anyways. And look how it turned out. Or the money we spent on something. And we're like, gosh, I knew that wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. That language where you're talking in the knowingness, or I knew, that's your intuition speaking through words.
I love it, Gina. Where can people find your gorgeousness? Let's go.
Well, come to Las Vegas. We have a holistic center here, so you can find me there. But online, you can find me at ginapero.com, Instagram, YouTube, you'll find me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Follow your gut. You'll find me.
Follow your gut to Gina Pero. That's what I did. I found her on Instagram. I saw this. I did. I saw you on Instagram and I was like, I want to know her. How did I know that? I felt it in my body.
Yeah. And then I felt it. So this is a really great thing for all of you to hear. Like, if you feel like you're supposed to message me or connect with me, then do it. If you're not getting that, then don't. This isn't, because there is someone that you are needing to connect with that may not be me. But Jen wrote me an Instagram message. And when I read it, I felt, because I get messages, throughout Instagram and marketing and, hey, I want to have you on this and have you on that. But there was something that told me to connect with Jen. I just knew. I says, hey, and I think I shared that with you. I'm like, hey, Jen, this is Gina. Something is telling me to connect with you. Thank you for your message. And here we are years later. But did I do that to every message I got in my inbox? No.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of time that you're wasting on not tuning in before you connect with people. Tune in and connect, and then you will get the clients you need. You will have the abundance you need when you're tuning in to, like, when am I supposed to do the course, or what book am I to pick up? When am I supposed to write the book? Like, this can all save you time and money, truly.
Absolutely. You don't even have to pay anything for it. Unless you go hire Gina Pero.
Well, yes, I have a coach. I mean, I love coaching. We could get into business another day and how to use our intuition in that. But for the most part, I think all of you got some really great ways to just start. And please do not say you don't know how anymore. Like, eliminate the language. You do know how. We all know how. No excuses around knowing how. We know how. I know how. Empower yourself every day. Like, I wake up every day and I say, I know exactly how to follow my intuition. Let's do it today.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I know exactly.
Let's
go, girl. And I talk to myself. I'm like, let's go, girl. We're going to follow it.
I love you.
So that you already know. Don't let the thought come in that you don't. Don't excuse it.
I love you. I love this conversation. We could be here forever. I'm sure I'm going to have you again, because you're just so incredible and filled with so much wisdom to share. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up today and being here with me. I've loved this conversation so much.
Oh, I love.
All right. For you listeners, tune back in next Wednesday at 1:00. Wisdom from Within. Let's go every single week. This is honestly the most important work that we can be doing. It truly is. In this moment, in this time, in our lives, this is what matters most, so that we can live the life we want, stand up for what we want, stand for what we want, make the decisions that we want, and have the life that we deserve. Yeah. See you next week, everybody.
Tune in.
All right.